Hey guys, welcome back to another sports stuff video. Today we're talking about the Tennessee Titans and their offseason plan to get back to contention like they're trying to do. If you guys do enjoy this video, please like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell to be notified when we post next. Let's get into it. So, the Tennessee Titans obviously are a team that the AFC South used to run through, but right now it's kind of in the middle of a shape up to where, people are leaving, teams are getting better around them while they're staying pretty stagnant. So let's talk about how the Tennessee Titans can take back that reign of AFC South champions. There we go. So some notable free agents. I can only find 3 of them that I would actually even have to say are notable. Guard Nate Davis, linebacker David Long Jr., and D-tackle Taylor Tart. David Long Jr., he's coming off his best season of his career. 86 tackles, 2 interceptions. He's been the starting linebacker for them for 2 years after they cut, what was his name? Linebacker. I can't remember his name. But there was a linebacker who, and the minute I see his name, I know I'm going to immediately remember, like, oh, that's him. But they cut a linebacker just for David Long Jr. to start. They released Zach Cunningham this week, who they picked up from the Texans last year. It's a good young linebacker room to build room with. If they can build around David Long Jr. for the next couple of years, get a free agent, draft someone. He's a good building block for that room. And here's my base overall idea of a contract for him. It's about, a 4-year, about a 4-year, $40 million deal. You guarantee about 15 of it with a $5 million signing bonus. If you can get David Long Jr. for 4 for 40, not 5 for 40, 4 for 40, guarantee only about 15 to 20 million. That's ideal in my opinion. Nate Davis is the next guy. Nate Davis, he averaged about 1 pressure a game. Now, he did let up 4 sacks, but only averaging 1 pressure a game is really good for an interior lineman. A 70 overall grade on PFF. I don't really hold PFF that much anymore. It's a high standard, but a 70 overall grade is about average. He's been a very solid right guard for 4 years since 2019. He's actually one of the first linemen I ever scouted, so I have a special love for Nate Davis. Just keep the O-line solid after you cut Taylor Lewan, after you let Jack Conklin go a couple years ago. Keep the O-line you have solid, especially the interior if you keep Ben Jones. So the contract I got about for him is about, a 26, 30, so about a 4 for 40 again, and you guarantee about 20 of it, so about a 50% guarantee with a $6 million signing bonus. Cap hit never goes above $15 million, except for that final year. Let's say it does fall off a cliff in the next couple of years, you can always cut him and have no dead cap. Next is Taylor Tart. Another guy that I love Taylor Tart. 34 tackles, 1.5 sacks in his lone starter season. He's a solid young D tackle. He won't be too expensive, and he was an undrafted free agent rookie in 2020 that has hung on to the roster since, and he's really proven to be a solid starter. I would love the Browns to have a Taylor Tart. If he doesn't sign with the Tennessee Titans, I hope the Browns go and get him. That's a 3-year, $14 million deal with about 5.5 guaranteed. For a guy that was an undrafted free agent, this kind of money is insane. I hope Taylor Tart goes for more somewhere else, hopefully the Browns. But if the Tennessee Titans can get him for this, that'd be awesome for their franchise. Next up is the free agent targets. Free agent targets that I think they should target in free agency are obviously every offensive line in the league that needs a left tackle. You gotta go for Orlando Brown. They moved on from Taylor Lewan this week because he was injury riddled and had a really high cap hit for how injury riddled he is. They need a young left tackle that's on the timetable with the rest of the team. I think Orlando Brown is in that mold right now, but it will cost a heavy penny. I don't think the Chiefs will tag him, but if they do, you have to trade for him. But the kind of deal I have for him is about over $100 million. That's over $100 million. That's 26, 50, 72, 99, $109 million. It's 5 for $109 million. With 30, 50, 70 million guaranteed. That's a really big deal. With a $15 million signing bonus, it's a very big deal. But later on in the slideshow, I can show you how I make it all work. But that's the left tackle I would go for. There's other left tackles in free agency, but like not Austin Blythe. Eric Fisher is a free agent. He's a veteran. There's a couple of left tackles that are in free agency. If you want to go a cheaper route, you can go. But I say if you're gonna swing big. Devin Bush, another guy that I really liked coming out of the draft in 2019. Very young linebacker, and he's pretty solid for Mike Vrabel, former linebacker for the Patriots, to coach up. They need another threat at that position next to David Long Jr., who I have them re-signing. And he's pretty cheap due to poor play since his sophomore season. He had a really good rookie year and just has not played well since. So I got what? That's a 15. That's a 3-year for 20.5. You guarantee 12 of it. $3 million signing bonus. Never hits $10 million for a starting linebacker. I think with Mike Vrabel can coach up. And I think what's most important, all the free agent targets I have him going for are 27 or younger. So for 3 to 4 years, they're in the timetable for the Tennessee Titans. But yeah, so that's about a $20 million deal for over 3 years. It's really solid for them. And final guy, like I said, everyone is under 27 that I have him going for. Jacoby Myers. I think he's a solid number 2 wide receiver. He gives Willis or the next QB another target. And he's a different skill set than their current wide receiver 1 and 2, Treylon Burks and Kyle Phillips. They also cut Robert Woods, Bobby Trees. They cut him this week to save, I think, $10 million in cap space. So you move that money onto another wide receiver who's 26 years old and has proven to be a really good target with over 800 yards last year. Maybe have been 900 yards and like 6 touchdowns. But that is a $44 million deal over 3 years with $25 million guarantee and $8 million signing bonus. Again, a wide receiver that never hits $20 million in a cap number right now is very rare. And I think that's what Jacoby's going to go for. He's not a number 1 wide receiver, but if he's a number 2, he will exceed as your number 2 wide receiver. Trade targets. 3 guys I think they could trade for. I think Jerry Jeudy's on the board. I think Leonard Williams. And a big one, Brian Burns. Jerry Jeudy had his best season as a pro. 67 receptions for 972 yards and 6 touchdowns. Another young wide receiver to add to this core. Had his best season with Russ at QB, but he's going to be needing a new deal soon. This builds a very solid wide receiver room. Again, I think him and Treylon Burks have a lot of similar skill sets, but I think Jerry Jeudy would become the number 1. Treylon would go down to number 2, and Kyle would be your slots. Probably a second and some more. Maybe a second and a 4th or a second and a 5th, and get him in a 7th round pick back or something. But with his 5th-year deal, which has been picked up at $2.6 million, I added on 5-year extension at $18 million, $20 million, $21, $22.5, and $24. Again, a wide receiver 1 that never hits $25 million a year is insane. It's really good. Because right now you got Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, all these guys going in the 30, 31 million. He doesn't even hit 25. But that's just shy of a $100 million extension. I think it's like 2 million shy. Let me count. 8, 9, 10, 11, 15, 25, 45, 65, 85. Oh, it's a 5-year, $105 million deal. Okay, so it is $100 million. I thought it was at like 98. But 5-year, $105 million deal. You guarantee about 40 of it. And you can always renegotiate later on. Because, if he's really good for you, you want to keep him as long as you can. You know what I mean? You want to keep him as long as you can. But probably a second and some more plus that massive deal might make them not want to trade for Jerry Jeudy. Leonard Williams, I think he's a pretty solid D tackle for what you can get out of him. 45 tackles, 2.5 sacks. He's on the final year of his deal that he signed with the Giants when they traded for him. He's going to want a new deal when he does get traded because he has no guaranteed money left. He shouldn't be too expensive to acquire, maybe a 3rd or a 4th round pick. Late day 2 pick is what I said. So like maybe a late 3rd, early 4th is what you can get for him. And again, immediately have to extend him. I made sure that it could just be a 2-year deal, but I added another year on just to make it, enticing, but has very little guaranteed money. So that's what, a $40 million, that's 20, 40, a 3-year, $60 million deal, but you only guarantee 22.5 of it. And after the 2nd year of the deal, you can cut him and save $20 million in cap space. Yeah, I think, again, for a guy who has proven to be pretty solid, this seems like a pretty good deal for him, in my opinion. But this is the big swing. This is the big swing at a trade. Brian Burns. If you can get Brian Burns, he just came off a Pro Bowl season, 63 tackles, 12.5 sacks. He's definitely not in the trade block because the Rams tried trading for him, and they denied the trade because they see him as a franchise player. But this would be a big splash. He's young and a rising star, would fit nicely in your scheme, but he's going to be so expensive to acquire and extend at least 2 first-round picks, at least a massive $22 million average. I have it average about $25 million. So 20 million, 22.5, 23, and 25. That's 2, 4, 6, 8. So about $90 million. 4 for 90, 92 is what I have it going at. Not including the bonus, obviously would make it over 100. I'm talking about just base salary. 4 for 90, 92. You guarantee 30, 40, about 54 of it is guaranteed. So way over, about 60 to 65% of it is guaranteed, which is way over what I usually stick at, 50 to 55% guaranteed money on contracts. But Brian Burns is worth it. He's absolutely worth it, in my opinion. I think he's a guy that you can definitely build that defensive line around. You add him in next to Harold Landry. You add him in next to Jeffrey Simmons. Ooh, this would be great. So I want to talk about the cap space. So this is the cap space after what I've talked about so far. So I have them extending David Long, extending Nate Davis, extending Tyler Tart, signing Orlando Brown and Devin Bush, but I have them not signing the other guy I talked about. I can't remember who it was. Then trading for Jerry Jeudy and Brian Burns. So this is the absolute most that they can spend, in my opinion, before draft. I have them cutting Ryan Tannehill and Bud Dupree and trading Kevin Byard to free up about $40 million, and you immediately reallocate that $40 to $50 million into these 7 guys that I would have. But this raises the bar of your team from here to here. This is a playoff guaranteed team, in my opinion. If you do this, you still got $9 million in cap space to sign your draft class. And speaking of the draft, here's what I did with no trades. I think this is a team that could easily trade down or trade up. But at pick 11, I have him grabbing Peter Skoronski. Again, I have him being at my number 2 left tackle after Paris Johnson. And if you want to move him into left guard in the future, you can. But again, he's a run blocker, good in pass blocking as well. But this is a team that needs run blocking left tackles. Peter Skoronski is that guy. In the second round, again, I don't think Josh Downs will be there. I think he's a first-round talent. But at pick 41, grabbing Josh Downs is just too good of value to grab him. And then you have an elite wide receiver core to where now Kyle Phillips, your slot guy, is your number 4 receiver. Andre Carter out of Army. If he's there at pick 72, I would have traded up probably 20 picks earlier to grab Andre Carter. This is a fringe first-round guy that fell to the 3rd round. I don't think he'll be there in real life, but if he is, he'll be really good depth or in addition to a starter if you don't do any of the signings I said. But Trey Dean, I've been speaking great about Trey Dean. He's one of my favorite safeties in this class. He can do everything but catch the ball. He can tackle. He can pass rush. He has good field presence, good feet. It's just that he does not know how to catch the ball and get interceptions and picks. Stetson Bennett, yes, grabbing a quarterback in the 6th round, you probably should have grabbed one earlier. But if you can get Stetson Bennett to back up Malik Willis, I think that's really good. They have 2 completely different play styles, but I think Stetson Bennett can actually compete for QB1. I'm being serious. I think Stetson Bennett can be somewhat of an NFL prospect. Then Travis Dye, I've liked Travis Dye for years now. Having him replace Hassan Haskins, who's a free agent. Maybe also Dontrell Hilliard, who I love Dontrell, dog pound. But Travis Dye, I really like Travis Dye out of USC. I think he can give a lot of, obviously you have Derrick Henry. But if Derrick Henry's hurt, he's a good replacement for Derrick Henry. And potential shocking moves. I think there's a chance they move up to number 1 overall. I think it's a very high chance. It's going to be expensive. This is your first pick, number 11 this year, and your future first, 2 second-round picks and 2 fifth-round picks to move up to number 1 overall and get no other picks back besides number 1. But you grab Bryce Young to be your franchise quarterback. I think Mike Vrabel would be into doing this, especially because you have a new GM, and new GMs and new owners, when they want their first off seasons to be full of big moves because they want to say, hey, this is my team now. Here's how I'm going to run it. So this kind of move I think is very possible. I think another potential shocking move is Brian Burns. I think there's a chance they make a blockbuster trade for Brian Burns and build this defense even more. And finally, I think there's a chance that Malik Willis is a clear-cut starter and no moves at QB happen. It'd be shocking still, but I think there is a potential return on Malik Willis's draft stock of, hey, we're gonna have Malik Willis for a full offseason be our starter quarterback, QB1, no competition. We bring in Josh Downs back to back him up, but Malik Willis is our QB1 for the future, at least this season. I would be shocked, but I think there's a chance that they say that, and there's no draft of a quarterback in the draft. There's no free agent talk, nothing. It'd be shocking, but I think it's possible. But if you guys did enjoy this video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell to be notified when I post next. What team do you want me to do next? I'm thinking I might do another team who's kind of in the middle. Maybe the Indianapolis Colts, maybe an NFC team, maybe a team like the Seahawks would be fun. But let me know what you guys think. I'll see you guys later. Peace and bye.